love it. All sports, double coverage. One.
All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. We hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sports. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce, and we're rocking the new merch.
We got the merch, Domma.
Got the merch.
We made it. We made it. We got the merch.
Got the merch, looking good.
Looking spick and span. I love it.
Oh,
got
mate.
the double coverage merch. You're gonna have to give us a little turnaround, Domma. Show us the back. Show us the back quickly.
Floor show, jeez. I'm not getting
We want to show this the back.
No OnlyFans, like Panther said.
That's it.
Right, I've got to bend down, mate. Can you see
There it is. There it is. Walking the streets.
I should have gone and ripped out a bloody hoodie, and I could
Walking the streets.
have just shown it.
Oh, here we go.
Mate,
Here we go. All right, Domma. What do we got today? It's been a massive trade
We got some stuff.
period thus far in the NBA. That's for sure.
Well, we'll run through that at the top of the show. But before we get into that, obviously, we got EPL was back. Champions League was also on this morning, which is awesome. We're going to preview the F1 race for this week. I've got a bit of news there as well, coming out of the F1 circles, which will be very good. UFC, our boy is fighting this week, so we're G'd up for that one.
If you don't know who our boy is, I'm leaving it. I'm
Just
leaving
wait.
it until the
Just
UFC.
wait till Saucy gets himself G'd up when he starts previewing this fight. Then we've got NFL, massive news coming out of the league this week with another one of Saucy's boys, Joey B. Let's just say, we saw it coming, didn't we? It was just a matter of time for the poor bloke. It was just a matter of time.
That offensive line.
Yeah. And then we got some hobby talk, and we are going to get back onto what Sauce was talking about a couple of weeks ago about the botting, because if you haven't seen his Sauce's collectible page, he did put something very interesting in his story about some botting that is quite alarming for people, especially in Australia, because it's already happening in the United States and other parts of the world, but it's just a matter of time. And then, of course, to end, most anticipated segment of the show, Sauceys Smokey, where he's bringing another familiar face, I think, but as you know, he's going to keep jamming down your throat till you start buying it, because they're great picks. But let's get straight into it, shall we? Oh, mate. The trades is just getting ridiculous. Genuinely ridiculous. We're going to actually go through the teams and give a bit of a rundown on who they've picked up, who they've lost, and we'll just give a bit of a rundown on what we think. But, of course, we're going to start with a team which I think has won during this period in what they've done. The Atlanta Hawks. They drafted Onyeka Okongwu with the 6th pick and Skylar Mays with the 50th pick. In the free agency, they picked up Gallinari, Rondo, Chris Dunn, and they picked up my boy Solomon Hill from the Heat. They lost Dwayne Dedman.
No big loss.
No big loss. Jeff T to the Celtics, who's old anyway.
Yep.
DeAndre Bembry, Charles Brown Jr., Trevon Graham, Damian Jones, Scala Bissiere, and they waived Kyrie Thomas, who was picked up by Detroit, and Vince Carter retired. But I reckon they've done some great things. They're literally helping out Trae Young.
Yeah, helping out Trae Young. It's good signs for the Hawks, that's for sure. Domma, they've made some positive moves. They're out in the East. You know, maybe this is the season that they look to make that next step and make the playoffs. I think that should be their first goal.
I reckon it's
whether it
possible.
be, you know,
Well,
I think, you know,
yeah.
if they're going to make the playoffs, it's going to be in that lower, you know, probably 8th to 6th seed.
Yeah.
I think 6th seed is probably their ceiling.
Well, they're better than Orlando now, who finished around there.
Yeah, but you know what? You don't know in the NBA. You don't know. They might come out and come out flying. But also, don't get sucked in too early I may have thought, the Suns was going to be that team last season. They came out the blocks and they looked good in their sort of first 15 games. Then they fell away. So let's see as this team gets together. I expect them to have some sort of a bit of continuity issues at the beginning.
100%.
But I think with those veterans, Gallo's a veteran, Rondo's a veteran that they've also added. And who is the
Another
other
guy?
one more veteran there, Teague.
He
He left.
Yeah, so they got Gallinari, Rondo, Hill's another vet.
Yep, another vet.
Chris
There you
Dunn
go.
is pretty good on his day when he's not injured. And another guy that isn't mentioned here in this article is Clint Capella. I'm pretty sure they picked up as well.
Yep, so they've got a
So they've
solid
got a big
protector.
They've got a very
They've got a big, and John Collins can stretch the floor. I believe that John Collins is going to be a good player.
Got his rookies.
I've picked up a few of his rookies. Went down to my my favourite friend down there, your familiar face, Mick, and picked up rated his folders.
One of our good friends of the show, which is good. Definitely. Matt, I tell you, they're looking very, very nice. Next up, we got a team that's getting talked about a fair bit at the moment, the Boston Celtics. They drafted Aaron Nesmith with the 14th overall pick, Braden Pritchard with the 26th, Yam Madar with the 47th pick, and in free agency, they needed a big man. They picked up Tristan Thompson. Offensively, practically the same as, what's his name? The big fella they got there. I've gone blank on him. 27. Oh, I've gone blank.
Tease.
Tice, yeah, that's it. They picked up Jeff Teague, and Taco falls on a two-way. They've signed him back. They got rid of Poirier to Oklahoma. Ennis Cantor's gone back to Portland with Dame Dollar. And they lost Gordon Hayward to free agency. And a guy that was very good during the playoffs for him, Brad Wanamaker off the bench, to Golden State. So that's a good pickup for them. A good player that can actually play D has been lost, unfortunately. So I don't know. Where do you sit with these guys? I thought they were going to have a bigger impact. I know there's still time. They signed Jason Tatum to a huge contract.
Yeah.
But then they've freed up money space as well by getting rid of Hayward, which was a terrible contract there. Do they trade Kemba Walker, Sauce? What do you reckon?
They clear that cap space and get Giannis in that team. That's what they should be trying to do.
Yeah.
Once Giannis wants to leave, because you think about the cap space you've cleared out there. You've secured Jason Tatum. I thought I'm gonna say out there. I thought Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown sort of after their first sort of few years in the league, they were on par, and I didn't know which one was going to take that next step. But we've clearly seen who's the guy. Tatum is the man. Jaylen Brown is a very, very good wing and a great defensive player, and is going to be pivotal for that team going forward because he's got that size, he's got that lateral quickness, he's able to switch defenders, move through them. So yeah, it's going to be interesting for Boston and how they fare up, but I feel they may have gotten a little bit weaker, in my opinion.
I share the same opinion as you. I think they have got a bit weaker. I don't know. I just got this feeling that potentially they could package that Walker with maybe one of those draft picks, like future picks, but maybe even a young guy, and actually make a play, James Harden. It could be a possibility. I know we discussed that it wasn't a good fit for Tatum and Brown getting Harden in, but it could be something that they're looking at. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of Boston beyond the realms of Danny Ainge to do something like that.
Yeah.
So we just have to wait and see. I guess Bill Collins jumped in on the chat, and he's talking about the Brooklyn Nets, which are up next. We did talk about Brooklyn last week on the show. We're not going to go into too depth on them this week, but we pretty much the gist of what we said last week is if he goes there with Kyrie and Durant, they're not winning. And Bill's practically on it. He said it's going to be a tough team to play them, but is it though? But they're going to have no bench because all these guys are on big dollars, so they're going to they're not going to be able to afford absolutely anyone. So
Yeah,
They're going to be
it's going to be
really,
tough. And
really
look, I
bad.
heard the argument. You know, they didn't need that with Golden State. Like, what bench did they have? But the difference was
Yeah,
they already were a team that were gelled. They'd won together, so they're already built.
I wouldn't call
Their chemistry was already good,
I wouldn't
and those
call,
guys
yeah.
coming off the bench, Livingston and
I was going to say Iguodala.
Iggy, and that they had been in that system for a
Yeah.
while.
I'm not going
Um,
to say call them no one coming off the bench.
yeah, so you know, I don't think it will work if they go there and they keep Kyrie, it will not work. If he goes there, it has to be Harden and Westbrook,
I love that. I love
Kevin
that.
Durant. You would never get rid of Durant. You sell everyone else, you keep Durant. That's
That's it.
your
And then
man,
build around him.
right?
100%. Completely agree. But that's
So
literally what we want to see. We want to see old Snake Man Durant ship off Kyrie. I don't know. How good would that be? That would be elite. It'd give us something to talk about. But so far, they've reportedly added Reggie Perry with the 57th pick, Bruce Brown from Detroit, and Landry Shamet from the Clippers, and Jeff Green from the Rockets, who was really good in the bubble. They lost Zanan Musa to Detroit. And then listen to these, who they lost during free agency. Garrett Temple, Jamal Crawford, Justin Anderson, Lance Thomas, Michael Beasley, Wilson Chandler, Chris Cherries, Donta Hall, Tyler Johnson, and Jeremiah Martin. So they've practically got no one on their bench. So obviously they're going to try and sign some free agents and stuff, some minimum guys. Maybe they get Jared Dudley back and put him on the bench. And they'll win the title, apparently.
hey, he's got a chip. He's got more chips than Harden.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's very true. He's got more chips than a lot of players out in the NBA. So, yeah, Bob Money says hi. How you going, Bob Money? What's going on, brother? Next up, we got Charlotte, who drafted LaMelo, Vernon Carey with the 32nd, Nick Richards with the 42nd pick, Grant Rilla with the 56th, Nate Darling was undrafted, and they got him on a two-way deal. They also picked up Gordon Hayward, as we mentioned. They lost Dwayne Bacon, Bismack Biyombo, Willie Hernan Gomez, Kobe Simmons, and Ray Spalding. No losses there, in my opinion. Good pickup in Hayward, but stupid pickup at the same time. Would you say? Because it's a big contract.
I'm not exactly sure what it is, but that contract. Look, the only way they can afford that is because they've got plenty of rookies on their list, and you've got PJ Washington still in his second, probably still on his rookie contract. As that goes, I mean, you see that back end of that contract. Maybe they'll probably do like an Al Horford situation on maybe that last year of that contract, where they get rid of him and able him to send him to some spud team at the time, and hopefully by that time they've built their team. I think Hayward will be good because he'll give him direction. He's a smart player, and he will. You need some vets on the team. There's a lot of young guys on that team. They've got talent. Will it gel together? Let's see how Ball does. I want him to do good. I want I want LaMelo Ball to do well. And from what I've seen in the NBL last season, he has all the attributes to be successful at this level. And the fact that he's got that ball handling ability at that size, that allows him to, and his passing ability is already elite. The way he's able to pass off the dribble, and he passes off the dribble already better than some guys in the NBA from what I've seen.
100%.
So that's going to allow him to be a good playmaker. So I'll be interested to see how that and Devontae Graham, how they play together. That's my biggest intrigue in that, and I just hope my boy PJ Washington is on the come up because I've got quite a few of his cards, so I wouldn't mind him doing well. That's going to also enhance my collection. So, yeah, it's going to be good going forward. I don't expect them to do anything. They will not make the playoffs. They'll just or do any of that.
I wouldn't have thought so.
If they 72 games, what do we got? If they win. Let's say if they win
25.
If they win 25, that's probably where you expect them. If they win, 30 to 35, that's probably above expectations.
And honestly, that might actually make them get into playoff contention, potentially in the East. Potentially. But, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that. Potentially getting there. Because it is tough in the East. In terms of, because you're practically going to lose the West teams consistently. So we'll see what happens with them. Next up, we got the Bulls, which not much to get through here. They picked Patrick Williams 4th overall, which was a bit of a shock. Marko Simonovic with the 44th pick. Devin Dotson, they picked up undrafted. They also got Garrett Temple through free agency. They lost Chris Dunn, Shaquille Harrison, Adam Makoka, and Max Strauss. Nothing much there. They'll just go run of the mill. It's more still developing some of their guys there.
Yeah, still developing some of their guys. But there's one thing I want to mention, Domma, and that's, when I was watching the draft last week, they drafted Patrick Williams, and I said, who the fuck is this guy? Now, I'm not one to just be like, oh, who's this guy, and leave it at that. So
do your research.
Did a bit of Google searching,
and Hills.
Shout out to someone who I've friended through the hobby and through NBA card market page, Australian card market page, Jay, and he's very big, passionate Bulls fan. So he shared a few videos about this Patrick Williams, and I had to watch him. He was playing some scrimmages with some NBA guys. Now this is before the draft. Now you got to remember, he came off the bench. He's only 19 years old, Domma. He's only 19. I'll post this video. I'll find the video. I'll send it to you. You can have a look, quick skip through as we're going through later on, and we can mention it later, or you can watch it and mention it if you can. But we'll put it to the viewers out there. This video. It impressed me a lot. What I see in his ability to, at 19, 6'8", he's already 6'8", and he's 19. Who knows? He might have another little cheeky growth spurt and end up 6'9", 6'10". He's got these handles, the way he's able to pull off the dribble. He's doing, between the legs, behind the back, step back. He's doing all these moves, and then, crossover, driving to the ring, dunking. I mean, look, it's a scrimmage. I understand. I get it. But it wasn't that. It was also his ability to then go into the low post and use his size advantage on the smaller guy at the time. The NBA, this is pivotal. Because the NBA, there's so much switching with screens that inevitably, at 6'8", and his length that he's already got, he's going to get mismatches.
100% he will.
And the fact that he's got... You see his mid-range pull-up and his soft touch, and there's some moves in this video where he's got it on the block, he turns around and you sort of up fakes him and then double clutches and then sort of fades away and hits a little, floater. I'm not giving him that sort of mantle, but very a la Kobe Bryant when you'd get him in the block and you make one move, two move, and then come back the other way and have that you make a tough ass shot, leaning into the guy. It's impressive stuff.
I know. Shooting on contact and through traffic.
Shooting on contact and that sort of thing, and so that video really excited me. I then had a look at his high school stats. He was pretty good in high school. Who'd never know? He was potentially back in the day. He might have been a guy out of high school. He maybe could have gone straight into the NBA if their system was still like that. So he went to college. He opted straight into the draft. But the thing was that the Chicago Bulls really liked about him was his basketball mind. So when they had conversations with him, his ability to understand the game of basketball and just being basketball smart is what they like to call it. So I'll be interested to see how he develops. And I'll be interested to see how the market of cards actually takes up his value of card. I mean, number 4th pick.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Just number 4th pick.
The advice, just collect the top 10 and hold them. Just hold them. You never know what's going to happen.
Well, you never know. You always want to find that sleeper.
This guy could be it. He could be the guy.
So, yeah. Look, it'd be an interesting follow, Domma. Interesting follow.
Next, we have the Cavs. We'll just breeze through them. They picked Isaac Okoro, 5th pick. They traded for... Who'd they get here? They got JaVale McGee. They re-signed Daly. And they picked up Damian Dotson. They lost Tristan Thompson, Matt Mooney, and Ante Zizic. And they traded Jordan Bell and Alfonso McKinney to the Los Angeles Lakers, who can't wait to get to them because they're stacked. My God. Dallas Mavericks picked Aussie Josh Green with the 18th pick. Picked up Tyrell Terry, 31st pick. Tyler Bay, 36th. They picked up Josh Richardson in a trade with Philadelphia and James Johnson from Minnesota by trade. They also picked up Wesley Wundu from Orlando. They lost Seth Curry, DeLon Wright, and Justin Jackson. They also lost JJ Barea. Yeah, their free agents. Sorry, JJ Barea, Michael Kidd Gilchrist, Courtney Lee, Josh Reeves, and Antonius Cleveland. Josh Richards is a good pickup. Seth Curry's a bit of a loss, in my opinion, but he was asking for a bit of money, so pretty hard to keep them. Next, we've got Denver, made it to the Western Conference Finals. They picked Zeke Naji with this 22nd overall pick. Then they got traded RJ Hampton, who's a bit of a sleeper. It's a good guy to get, I'll tell you what. They also picked up Facundo Campazzo. Sounds like an Italiano there from Real Madrid, but Jermichael Green from the Clippers. And they lost Jeremy Grant to Detroit, which he was asking for money, so that's all right. They lost Mason Plumlee, the cornerstone of that team, to Detroit. Torrey Craig, Tyler Cook, Troy Daniels, and Noah Vonleh. They're going to be good again. They're going to be very good. If Michael Porter Jr.
They're going to be good. I listened to your boy the Herd. They had Nick Wright on, and he's talking about Nick Wright was saying he believes that Denver may have got weaker, but I don't feel that. I'm going to disagree with Nick Wright on that. I mean, I understand Jeremy Grant. You can't pay the man. Yeah, he showed up in the playoffs, but he's not your cornerstone player. You hope that MPJ can improve his defense a bit, and he will take more of a role on that side, and if he can hold up. And you're adding RJ Hampton, who's played against men. He can come in and fill that role off the bench. Torrey Craig, they lose a defender there. That's probably more. Losing two defenders is probably not what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
In that sense, they still kept their best defender in Gary Harris, which is good. But I still think they're going to be good going forward. Let's see if they play the main man down there. That could take over the whole of the NBA, Mr. Bol.
Yeah, I know. Well, he just signed a 2-year, $4.2 million.
That's right. He signed a contract. So I'll be interested to see if they start playing. Why would you start playing some of these guys that have got severe talent? Hopefully, Bol puts on some size, doesn't get pushed around as easy. Is he going to play big minutes? We don't know. But the guys that you had there, you were getting close, but you need to change it up. Obviously, your main few, Jokic and Murray. MPJ definitely.
Guns.
And then around that's where you need to find the guys.
Your boy, Gary Harris.
Yeah, look, Gary Harris is only good for defense. Other than that, he was terrible. The Lakers left him open, and we allowed him to shoot the ball, and hallelujah, he shot the ball because he helped us win that series.
I agree. You want him to shoot the ball. If anyone's going to shoot, it's him.
Yes, that's right. It's NBA, mate. They're all good if they're there. You can't take away everything. You got to live and die with certain things in the game, and that was what we chose to do, and it worked.
That's it. Next, we had Detroit. We'll just breeze through these teams. Killian Hayes, the French point guard, Isaiah Stewart, Sadiq Bey, Saban Lee were their drafts. They brought in DeLon Wright, Dazana Musa, Rodney Magruder, and Dwayne Dedman. Then they also picked up Jeremy Grant, Mason Plumlee, Jaleel Okafor, and Josh Jackson. They lost Bruce Brown, Luke Kennard, Kyrie Thomas, and Tony Snell. And their free agents, Christian Wood, Langston Galloway, John Henson, Brandon Knight, Thon Maker, Jordan McRae, Derek Walton Jr., Jordan Bone, and Lewis King. They're rebuilding, so don't expect anything with Detroit. We'll move on to our boys. I reckon we call them our second team. We hated them for so long, but I reckon they're pretty much like our second team now. Sauce, the Golden State Warriors. We actually want them to be good. Unfortunately, we're going to put it out there from the get-go, lost Klay Thompson. Not to trade, but to injury. So he's out. But in that, they did draft Wiseman with the second pick, Nico Mannion, and then Justinian Jessup, who is also an Aussie, I'm pretty sure. Justinian Jessup. Then they got Kelly Oubre, which was a good addition. They picked up Brad Wanamaker, another 3-and-D guy. Kent Bazemore, another guy that shoots threes, another scorer. They lost Dragan Bender, whoop-de-doo, and they waived Kai Bowman, so whatever. But they're stronger in terms of the depth on their bench. You can remember they still got Eric Pascal on there. Wiggins is going to get more of a run now. Definitely. They're definitely not going to trade Wiggins now, so he's going to play because they lost Clay. So Saucy's boy, who's been talking up, Andrew Wiggins, is going to get minutes. He's going to play now.
He's going to get minutes. He's going to be the number 2. Come on, Wig. Come on, Wig. Prove us why you were the number 1 pick. Now, this was no better situation playing on that team. It's all about, moving the ball, playing your role, and if you can do that, I still, even without Clay, if Steph stays fit, that team could still do something. They could still push for a playoff spot. Are they going to be as good? I thought they were going to finish top 4 in the West next season.
Probably
with
not.
Clay fit. Probably not.
Not now.
They're probably looking like the 8th to 6th seed. I feel.
Yeah.
If they're going to sneak in there.
Easy. If you do have questions and you're watching, please shoot them through. We will answer them. Next up, we've got Houston Rockets. Sorry, I just bit my tongue as I said that, and I had a bit of a lisp. Houston Rockets. Sorry. They drafted Kenyon Martin's son, Kenyon Martin Jr., with this 52nd pick. Now, this guy's got very raw, and he's got a lot of talent. I mentioned this on Monday in our special pod, mate. He's a bit of a sleeper. So collect his cards. That's my Smokey. Not a saucy smoke, but that's mine. Just keep an eye on him. They also picked up Christian Wood, Jashawn Tate from the Sydney Kings, and DeMarcus Cousins. They lost Robert Covington to the Portland Trailblazers, which is a big loss. They're free agents. Jeff Green, who has left, Bruno Caboclo, Damari Carroll, Tyson Chandler, Michael Frazier, Gerald Green, Luke Mbar, Mute, Austin Rivers has left and gone to New York, Cephalosha and William Howard. And most likely they will lose Houston and lose Harden and Westbrook at some stage. Next up, we have Indiana. They drafted Cassius Stanley. They've lost Brian Bowen, Alize Johnson, Naz Mitchell-Long, and they traded TJ Lee. They're still pretty much the same. Good call there.
Depends if Oladipo stays. If Oladipo stays and Domantas Sabonis comes back and can be fit, that team, they can definitely make the playoffs. I've said that, but it all depends. It's all about Oladipo. It's all about Oladipo because, let's be honest, TJ Warren ain't getting you far.
Yeah, exactly. Next 2 teams are the ones that could be a bit of a talking point here. Clippers drafted Daniel Oturu, Jay Scrubb, Luke Kennard. They got in and they picked up Serge Ibaka. They lost Landry Shamet, Rodney Magruder, Montrezl Harrell to the Los Angeles Lakers, JaMychal Green, and then Reggie Jackson and Jonathan Motley are also free agents. And in saying that, we're going to jump straight into the Lakers. They picked up Montrezl Harrell, Wesley Matthews. They re-signed Markieff Morris. They signed Dennis Schroeder. They got Jordan Bell and Alfonso McKinney from the Cavs. They lost Danny Green, who could not hit the backside of the barn in the NBA Finals. JaVale McGee, who didn't even play a minute. So they've practically given up 2 guys for nothing. They lost Rondo, who was massive in the finals. We'll give him that. He was massive, Rondo. But he was expensive, and it is a good pickup for Atlanta, as we said. Avery Bradley, who wasn't even a part of that team because he didn't come into the bubble. But it's a good pickup for the Heat. We got Avery Bradley. We'll take it. Dwight Howard, who had a pivotal role. He did pretty well. He went to Philly. And then free agents are Jared Dudley, which I don't expect them to re-sign. J.R. Smith, which I don't expect them to re-sign. Dion Waiters, maybe. And Kostas Antetokounmpo, the Greek freak, who has 1 title. So, and they waived...
We're going back-to-back, Domma. We're going back-to-back.
Yeah, just calm your farm.
We have gotten significantly stronger.
We've got to get through the Heat, mate. We're going to breeze through the East. If this is Boston's team, we're breezing through. We're still going to get Bradley Beal anyway before the trade thing's done. I'm still on this crap.
He's still confident. He's still on the Bradley Beal train.
Give me Bradley Beal. Oh, but Lakers looking strong. The team's even better than.
How can that be, Domma? How can the league allow that to happen?
I think honestly.
Remember when the commissioner blocked the trade for CP3 and we weren't allowed to get no one?
Yeah, I know.
But yet now now with LeBron we can just get anyone we want.
I genuinely reckon. You know what's funny? I think we'll talk about this next week because it'll take up a bit of time. Just this discussion, but I think people are starting to actually realise like vets, not like these key marquee guys, vets that understand the game. And actually, LeBron loves playing with vets more than young guys, as we know. But I
Yeah.
think the vets are realizing they look over at Rondo and Dwight Howard, who won titles on the back end of their career, and they've gone, it's actually pretty easy to win a title in this league. All you have to do is just join LeBron James, the
Well,
best
you at
player in the
least know you're
world.
going to get to the finals,
Yeah,
Domma.
you're gonna join the best player in the world, and arguably at his best, the second, third, or fourth best player in the world in Davis on the same team. Um, hello, mate, we've been saying is why all these guys haven't just played with LeBron to get rings from the beginning. I'm not really trying to stop his greatness, mate. He's just the GOAT, as we like to call him. Coming up, we will talk about that. I reckon that's a good thing. We'll discuss it next week. Memphis is up next. Obviously, well, this is actually Sauce's second team because he wants pieces to go around his boy JJJ. They
Yep.
got Desmond Bain, Xavier Tillman Sr., Killian Tilly, what a name, and Jaleel Tripp, undrafted from Exhibit 10, whatever that is. They also got Mario Hazonia from Portland. They lost Josh Jackson to the Detroit Pistons, and free agents are John Concha, Jonte Porter, Anthony Tolliver, and Yuta Watanabe. Nothing much happened there. I still reckon they'll be all right.
They'll be all right. They'll push for that 8th spot. I hope they go, and I just hope my boy JJJ has a breakout season and wins Most Improved Player, which I think he could potentially have that impact. I think he can take his game to that 24 points a game average, and start solidifying his spot as one of the better big men in the game.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Now, next up, we've got my boys. Now, I don't know if this is a typo. You might be actually able to clarify this for me because I didn't know we picked up this guy. But we'll start with the draft. We picked up, have a listen to this name, Precious Achua. What a name. We got Bam Adebayo, Precious Achua. Mate, look at these names. Got to love it. So we picked him with the 20th overall pick. Free agents picked up Maurice Harkless, Avery Bradley, and now this one I didn't know, but Austin Rivers from New York. Did they get rid of him?
Yeah, so he got traded. Alston Rivers, he left.
No, well,
He left.
all right. That's good. I'll take him. Yeah, he's a shooter. Does what he does. That's what we need.
He's a solid defensive player.
Exactly. That's what we are. 3-and-D, mate. Look where it got us.
And he shoots threes.
But the biggest loss we had, Jay Crowder, who was massive in the finals. Good player. Good pick up by Phoenix, but we lost Derek Jones Jr. to Portland, and then our other free agents are Kyle Alexander and Gabe Vincent. The Bucks, we're breezing through these now. We're killing them. Jordan Nara, Sam Merrill, Rajon Tucker. They got Drew Holiday, which is massive. They signed DJ Augustine, Bobby
vet
P,
off the bench.
Bobby P from the Knicks. He's down there as well. They got rid of Bledsoe, Spud, George Hill. They got rid of Wes Matthews is gone. Sterling Brown is gone. Robin Lopez is gone. Cole Korver is still a free agent. Frank Mason's a free agent, and so is Cam Reynolds. They also waived Ersan Ilyasova, and Marvin Williams has retired. Thoughts on them?
They've gotten stronger. They've improved, and I think they've tried to add some guys around him that can help him going forward. Drew Holiday is a great pickup. Some of the other guys I'm not so sure about. Gigi Augustine and he's okay backup point guard. Bobby Portis is solid coming off the bench. Has filled in a number of roles. It was quite good in Chicago when he was playing down there. So he'll just be happy he's out of the Knicks, let's be honest.
I completely agree. We'll just definitely breeze through these. Minnesota picked up Anthony Edwards. They got Ricky Rubio back. They got rid of James Johnson. New Orleans picked up Kira Lewis Jr. They got Eric Bledsoe in, Steven Adams in from Oklahoma. They also got Willie Hernan-Gomez, Winyan Gabriel, Sedarius Thornwell re-signed, and Brandon Ingram signed a 5-year, $148 million deal, which is massive. They lost Drew Holiday, Darius Miller, Jaleel Okafor, Derek Favors, Etwan Moore, and that is it there. And then the Knicks picked up Obi Toppin, Saucy's boy, Emmanuel Quickly with the 25th pick. They got rid of. They also got Spellman in, Jacob Evans, Alec Burks, Nerlens Noel, and Austin Rivers, which now they've got rid of. They've lost Bobby P, Harkless, Dotson, Ed Davis as well. And they waived Taj Gibson, Wayne Ellington, and Kenny Wooten. Now, this one, oh, Jesus. Oklahoma City Thunder. Let's just see who they got in. Horford, Ty Jerome, Jalen LeCue, Vincent Poirier, Trevor Ariza, Justin Jackson, George Hill, Darius Miller, TJ Leaf. They lost CP3, Schroeder were the notable ones, and Steven Adams, and along with Gallinari. Magic drafted my boy Cole Anthony, and they lost DJ Augustine and Wes Iwundu. Philly picked up Danny Green, Terrence Ferguson, Seth Curry, Tony Bradley, Dwight Howard, and Ryan Brockhoff, the Aussie from Dallas. They got rid of Horford, Richardson, Zaire Smith, Alec Burks left, and then so did Raul Neto. And now this one, I think we might have to talk about it. The Phoenix Suns drafted Jalen Smith with pick 10. They got in Chris Paul, Abdul Nader, Jay Crowder, Etuan Moore, Dario Saric re-signed. Then they shipped off Rubio, Ty Jerome, Kelly Oubre, Aaron Baines. They look all right.
Yeah, they look like they're firming up well. We'll be interested to see how if they can carry that momentum that they had in the bubble forward and see where it can get them this season. As I said, I expected them last season when they came out of the blocks to push towards that lower playoff spot. But but actually adding Chris Paul, who, as we spoke about last week, was able to drag that Oklahoma team to where he got them.
Yeah.
Why can't they, finish fifth? We don't even know what's going to happen with Houston right now, So Houston might not be a factor. So then you're really only battling against, probably 4 other sides that are really locks, and then the rest is open.
Sure.
In my opinion. So that 5th through 8th spot is definitely open.
Definitely. Next up, we have Portland, who got Robert Covington, great defensive player, and has improved his 3-point shooting, which is good. Enes Kanter comes back. They also got Derek Jones Jr., got rid of Trevor Ariza, Mario Hezonja, Jalen Adams, and Wenyen Gabriel.
Yeah, quick note on Portland. If they can stay healthy, this is one of the locks I'm talking about. If they can stay healthy, they had a lot of injuries last season, and Dame still got them to the playoffs.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah? If they stay healthy, they are locked for the playoffs.
No, they're good. They're going to be very good. Who we got here? Sacramento got another one of my boys, Tyrese Halliburton. That's pretty much it. They've lost Bazemore. And the one here,
Bogdan,
which I forgot to mention up the top, he's going to go to Atlanta. So
yeah, he is. He is going to Atlanta. Bogdanovich.
That's another
asset which we forgot to mention about, which would have hyped us up even more. They are looking good, Atlanta, in that week East. They've added some vets. Bogdan's also another vet. He's been in the league. I think he's 27, 28. So he's been in the league a little bit, and these are the guys that you want to bring into your team when you've got that young core. Been in the league 2 years, 3 years. Him and John Collins, Trey playing together. You add Cam Reddish. They're looking good.
Next up, the Spurs, who are quiet as ever, drafted Devin Vassell and Trey Jones, and they just lost Brian Forbes. So simple for them. Toronto drafted Malachi Flynn, Jalen Harris. They picked up Aaron Baines, Chris Boucher, DeAndre Bembry, Alex Len. They lost Serge Ibaka, Marc Gasol, another guy that the Lakers got. And there's a few others there that are still free agents. Utah, Adoka Azubuike, Elijah Hughes were in the draft. They picked up Derek Favors. They lost Ed Davis, Tony Bradley. And they have no notable free agents there. And then the last but not least, watch this space, drafted Denny Avdia from Israel. Yeah. This guy is a beast. If you haven't heard Sauce talk about it, he is a beast. Cassius Winston as well. Then they picked up Anthony Gill, Robin Lopez, Raul Neto. They lost Admiral Schofield. And that is it until they lose Bradley Beal to trade. So That's
Plenty of playing time available in that Washington team, in my opinion. So
just Bill. If you're listening to me, if you're watching double coverage, just go to the Heat, mate. Just do us all a favour, so you can win a title, mate. Play with buckets and win. But that's been pretty much what we've had so far. It's been a lot to absorb. I know we've been rambling here for about 40 minutes, but a lot has happened. And
yeah,
I think a lot
there's been
more
a lot.
still will happen because we've still got some free agents to get signed. We're going to have minimum guys to get signed, some vets moving. So stay tuned for that, I guess, and we'll see what happens. By the time we get to December 22nd, there's going to be a lot of rosters that look completely different.
They will, Domma, and there's already been a lot of moves. And out of what's happened thus far, I am sitting confident on this side going into this next NBA season with what the Lakers have been able to do thus far.
100%. I would be as well if I'm a member of the Laker Nation like Saucy. I tell you what, I'd just be rubbing my hands together and celebrating at this point in time because you've got the greatest player on the planet and a guy that now knows what it's like and he's had the taste of championship success in Davis. Expect him to get better because he's going to want more of those chips to add to his collection. So, and you got to do it now before the time runs out. There's a ticking timer on LeBron James. You win as many as you can now before he has to come off the bench and shoot threes for the next 5 years until he's 40.
Oh man! I actually think he's gonna play. He's gonna play till he's 42, mate.
I can't wait till he wins 8 titles by the end of his career.
I can't wait till he's played till he's 42.
I can't wait till he wins 8. I'm gonna celebrate. You know what he's gonna do? He's gonna go join like KD and the best team and just come off the bench as on a minimum vet contract, and he's just gonna win. He probably eclipse Jordan. He probably win more than Bill Russell by the end of his career. He just sit on the bench.
The guy's on another planet, man. The guy's on another planet. He spends $1.5 million on his recovery and fitness. He's got hyperbolic chambers in his freaking mansion. He's got every technology known to man, mate. He's an alien. He's not born.
NASA.
He wasn't born on Earth.
He's got NASA on bloody speed dial, mate.
That's it.
That's it. So we'll see what happens there. But they are looking very pretty in their position at the moment to be defending champions. Very nice. Come up next, bit of EPL and Champions League. Let's get straight back into the soccer.
Three, two.
All right, we're back. EPL and Champions League. We'll start with the EPL stuff, Saucy. We'll get through these games. Newcastle versus Chelsea. 2-0 winners for the Blues. I'll tell you what, we keep saying it. Just watch out. They're just chugging along.
Yeah, and another good look. A quick mention, another good win today where they got a goal late and able to overcome some adversity. These are the games that you see and watch and you go, oh yep, yeah, well, you know they got scored against late, but they were able to bounce, turn around, bang, get that winner. And when teams are starting to do that, they're winning games that maybe they were losing last season. They start to feel more confident. And they get on that roll. So watch out for the Blues
I'm going
and
to start
Chelsea.
shaking my boots a bit because Timo Werner is starting to really come into his own here.
Yep.
And it's very scary. Very, very scary. If he can get to that form he was in when he was playing Bundesliga football, game over. I gave him a shout out 2 weeks ago. We all know that Patrick Bamford. I love him. He's one of my boys. I got 2 new people I'm going to add to my list of Domma's boys. Number 1 that I'm adding, the next addition, is Ziyech from Chelsea. I absolutely love this guy. He's a
good.
freak.
He's good.
This guy's a monster. The second one, when we get to the team, I mentioned him a couple of weeks ago. I'm in love with him. But next up, we had Fulham versus Everton. The return of Richarlison after he almost snapped Alcantara's leg in the Merseyside derby. You got a couple of weeks. I'll tell you what, Richarlison back. They hadn't won a game since he'd been suspended. He comes back. Calvert-Lewin looked good. He scored twice. Everton were firing. They fell asleep a bit in the second half and Fulham brought it back. They should have drawn this Fulham. They slipped on a pen. They did a John Terry on the spot. And he kicked it over the bar. They would have brought it to 3-2, but then they scored the other goal later. But if they kicked the pen, they would have drawn this game. So they looked all right. They attacked pretty well. So Scott Parker looks like this. He's getting some continuity in the team there and starting to build. Still early days, so he might be able to sneak out of relegation. Next up, West Brom against Man United. This game was putrid. You're still loving this John
I'm
Terry.
still loving the call, John Terry.
He genuinely, mate, go watch the highlight. It is exactly the same. Get it up now. It's exactly the same as John Terry. It was a pisser.
Oh.
The only difference was it wasn't dark in a Champions League bloody final. And pissing down. I don't think it was pissing down. But next up we have West Brom versus Man United. The game was shit. This game was terrible. United got a pen on VAR. Fernandez missed it. But then it was a retake.
All the VAR calls.
Yeah, then they got the retake because the keeper came off his line. And then he put it in. And we won 1-0. That was pretty much the gist of the game.
You got the VAR call, and then you got the recall after you'd missed the penalty.
Legit. Because we had it.
The Fergie ghost lives within that team, mate.
100%.
The Fergie type.
100%. And the fact that we hadn't won a home game yet in the Premier League until that game. So maybe the refs were like, we need to give United give them a hand here, or else they don't look like they're going to bloody get a win at Old Trafford for the whole season.
He's just watched the John Terry slip. He's just watched the John Terry slip. Not the John Terry. Who was it?
Apparently, they're like one of the worst teams at pen spot kicks in the league.
Oh. Anyone out there, if you haven't seen it, I'm gonna link it. I'm gonna link the video. Link the video where I watched it. It's absolutely horrendous.
Oh, it's just terrible. Absolutely.
So you're telling me that would have equalised the game?
No, that goal would have gone to 3-2. So that goal they kicked later in the game would have equalised it.
Right.
But literally, they missed the golden opportunity to walk away with a point there and really put some heat on Everton. But next up, we had Aston Villa versus Brighton. Brighton got the chocolates here. They beat Aston Villa. Ross Barkley injured 5 minutes into the game with a hammy. That is a big loss because he's been linking up very well with Ollie Watkins and Jack Grealish this season. So, not good signs there, Brighton.
Massive win by Brighton to help them in their relegation fight.
100%. Next up, Liverpool versus Leicester City. A 3-0 bath from the Reds. And this is where my second boy. This is the top three, the holy trinity of Dom's football in the EPL at the moment. He's Patrick Bamford, Zayic, and Dogo Jota. This guy is a beast.
Diogo.
He's a freak.
Diogo Jota, he's good. He's good. He's solid, and
he's a gun.
He was good at Wolverhampton. You come across to a better team with better players. That enhances your game. And Klopp loves him. Absolutely starts him now just about every game.
Guy's a monster. He's a beast. If you haven't seen him play, just go do yourself a favour. Liverpool are running on skeleton crew at the moment because they've got that many injuries. But all these guys are stepping up, and they've just literally slapped Leicester 3-0.
7 matches, 4 goals. I mean, what do you want from a winger?
Hey, he's a gun. We love him. We're going to keep your game till the end because it was absolutely shit. Next, we had Sheffield versus West Ham. 1-0 win for West Ham. Wolves, Southampton drew 1-1. Burnley beat Palace 1-0 in a bit of a upset. And now we're going to get to the game of the round. Leeds versus Arsenal. Have you got any comments? I know you had a red card and you went to 10 men, but I'll tell you what the result should have been after you give me your... I'm just going to say, before you say anything, it's been 8 hours since you kicked the goal. Do you know that? 8 hours since you put a ball in the back of that net. You know where the goalkeeper stands, that thing that the ball's meant to go into to win games? 8 hours.
Domma, I don't even know what to say anymore.
I
don't even know what to say.
Leeds. You know what the score should have been in this game? 6-0. You know how many times Leeds hit the post? The woodwork? Mate, it was literally unbelievable. They look like bloody chippies out there, mate. That's how much labour they were doing. They smashed the crap out of the post, the crossbar. They hit it 6 times. So they're the attacking chances where they hit the frame. So they could have potentially all been goals.
It should have been over in the first half.
Oh, it should have been finished.
Domma. It should have been over in the first half. Leeds
what do you have to do?
absolutely demolished us. Nicolas Pepe had an absolute mirror of a game. Not only did he get sent off for doing one of the most stupid things in moving your head. If you haven't learned anything from Zinedine Zidane in the World Cup, well, you're an idiot, because it's one of the most renowned incidents of all time. He's done a Zinedine Zidane, not as bad, but, moved his head towards the player. Red card, see you later. I mean, before you would have got caught anyway. With VAR, you definitely ain't getting away with it. So it's just stupidity, Dom. Not only that, I watched him in the first half. They had an absolute field day down Arsenal's right-hand side, Leeds' left-hand attacking side, because Nicolas Pepe refused to run back on defense. And they had an absolute field day, teaming up on Bellerin 2-on-1. Bellerin losing his marbles at Pepe, telling him to run back. What are you doing? Like, I'm getting carved up here every time. It should have been 2-0 at halftime, Dom. Should have been 2-0 at halftime. And the game should have been, pretty much in the bed, basically, at halftime, with the way we've been unable to kick goals. But it wasn't. And we were somehow in it.
Walked away.
Bernd Leno had an absolute blinder. Made some great saves. Got a bit of luck. They hit the post twice. Hit the crossbar once. But Leno made a few good saves. Made one save from a strike from, I can't remember what the player was. But the guy caught it absolutely flush as you like. Leno with the right hand stuck the mid up and palmed it away. I keep saying, Dom, I don't know where we're at. We've our defense has been good. Like, other than getting pounced by Aston Villa, we've been pretty good. We've had a 1-0 loss, another 1-0 loss. We lost 3-1 to Liverpool, but other than that, 3-0 to Aston Villa. So, I mean, our defense has been good. We don't concede, but where our attacking threat has gone, I have no idea. It's disappeared. We lack invention. Like, he started Ceballos this game, Danny Ceballos, and he tried to play those forward passes, but we couldn't keep the ball. We lacked, and I'm just gonna say it. The more Granit Xhaka keeps playing,
I was gonna bring that up.
We're gonna struggle.
I saw it in the starting sheet, and I just thought of you straight away, mate.
There was a point there. Look, Rodrigo should have had a goal. He cut inside.
Oh, he hit the crossbar.
He hit the crossbar.
It was amazing.
I watched that footage, and that exact footage is the same. That sort of defending is the same sort of defending I've seen from Granit Xhaka the last however many years he's been at the club. Right? That clip right there pretty much summed it up. The guy has never learnt. Right? If you know Rodrigo, his right foot, all it's there for is to stand on. Now, if a guy gets it just on the outside of that right-hand goalpost, what's he most likely going to do if you're a left footer? A la Arjen Robben, a la Messi, a la all the best left footers that have ever played, Maradona. They will cut back inside and they will try and shoot.
A la me.
He had the defender there. Yeah, I wouldn't say one of the greatest left foot of all time, but we'll give you a left footer.
We'll beg to differ that.
He runs back, Domma. That play right there just typified Granit Xhaka. He runs back as hard as he can. He's got the centre back there. He drifts off. The centre back, if he goes that way, the centre back has got him. He's got him 100%. Going to his right hand foot. You as you're running back, you need to stay on that left foot. He overruns it that much that he even takes out our centre-back out of position. So our centre-back has to then run around him to contest the ball. Doesn't get there. Unlucky Rodrigo hit the crossbar. Lucky for us. And that right there was enough for me to go, it's the same old Granit Xhaka. Although he's good at passing and, that part of his game is, up there. It's that defend. You're there to defend, and you're making the same mistakes I've seen you make last season, the season before, and the season before, and the season before, since you started at the club. So, what have you improved on?
Nothing.
It baffles me, man. It baffles me.
Yeah. Well,
you're a professional player. You would know he's a left footer. Don't allow him to cut inside. Like, and I just see those same things. I'm just like, where are we going to get when guys don't learn from their same mistakes that they've been making for the last 3 seasons?
I can tell you we're going to get absolutely nowhere. So
So,
anyway, let's get to the table
baffled.
here. Tottenham and Liverpool both equal first on 20. Chelsea and Leicester both on 18, third and fourth. Southampton 5th. Everton 6th.
Southampton.
Aston Villa 7th. West Ham 8th. 9th. Wolves 10th. United back in the top 10. That's
You've
sad.
skipped us.
No, I haven't skipped you yet, mate. Palace
No, we're over us, United now.
Yeah. Arsenal 12th. Well, at least you're still beating City because they're shambles. 13th. I don't think we went through that game, did we? Did we go through that game, Man City?
I'm not exactly sure, but
maybe fucking
we
there.
didn't go through that game. How did we miss
Don't
that
worry
one? That was
about-
probably the biggest game around. Keep reading the ladder, and we'll go back
Yeah,
over
you're a
it.
shambles, mate. Leeds in 14th, Newcastle 15th on 11th, Brighton 16th, Burnley 17th, and then Fulham 18th on 4 points, West Brom 19th on 3 points, and
Sheffield
bottom
again,
of the
really
table, Sheffield. Poor fellas
1 point.
down there on a point.
Point.
Spurs
Point.
Man City, there it is. Bloody hell.
Bring it up, Domma. Bring it up.
Son of a gun. That's all I'm saying. That should sum up. That's the game. Son of a gun. Son mean.
Mourinho has got that team absolutely purling. We love it.
Son is a
The
beast.
special one is back, and he's got a contending team that can go far. He could win it this season. This could be the year. Tottenham people, you bring in the special one, he brings you results.
Mate,
He's been proven, think about that team, that Inter Milan team that he took to a Champions League title. No one, thought that team could get there or win it. And, there you go. Proof is in the
he's called
pudding.
the great
He's
one
done
for
it with
a season.
FC Porto. Some teams, albeit he's a sook and the way he handles the media, he's the Allah, he's the Mick Malthouse of freaking of soccer. The way he handles the media, or the Tony Popovich. Greg Popovich, not Tony Popovich. That's the old Australian fullback.
Tony Popovich.
Tony Popovich there. The great Western Wanderer coach who
He is,
also
mate.
took the
He
Western
is.
Wanderers to win the Asian Champions League. Thank you very
He's
much.
done, mate. Old Pop.
So,
That's it. That's been EPL, but we'll just run through this week's games, mate, quickly. Crystal Palace, Newcastle, Brighton, Liverpool, Man City, Burnley, Everton, Leeds, another great game there. West Brom, Sheffield, Southampton, United, which is also a good game. Chelsea, Spurs, which is another great game. Arsenal, Wolves, which I reckon will be a great game. Leicester, Fulham.
we could lose that.
Yeah, you could. Leicester, Fulham. Leicester should get that done. But this game is very underrated, and I reckon it's going to be amazing. West Ham versus Aston Villa. I reckon it's going to be great.
Yeah,
Great.
going to be a good game.
Yeah. And then before
I'm going the Hammers.
Before we finish up here, mate, we had Champions League this morning.
Champions League. We'll run over the quick results.
Chelsea 2-1 over Reims. Krasnodar lost 2-1 to Sevilla. Lazio beat Zenit St. Petersburg 3-1. I'm going to keep that game to last. Barcelona smacked Dinamo 4-0. Juventus 2-1 over Ferencváros. The GOAT scored, and then Murata in stoppage time.
He finally wasn't offside.
Yeah, no, finally wasn't offside. Got the goal. Paris Saint-Germain beat Leipzig.
I'll be honest with you, the keeper should have
1-0.
done better on that.
You
That was a
probably
complete
should have.
cake.
Paris Saint-Germain were very, very lucky not to lose or draw this game. I don't know how they got away with it. And then United beat Istanbul 4-1. Fernandez put on a clinic. If you haven't seen his first goal, just go watch it. It was a rifle. Absolute rifle. Great. But this is the last game I want to cover. Dortmund versus Club Brugge. And the reason why, got some history made today. We love the stats and the facts.
Yep.
Erling Haaland. You don't know who this fella is, ladies and gents.
He's a freak. He's a freak.
We're speaking about people that are not from this planet in LeBron James. This guy here must be a cyborg because he finds the back of the net with absolute ease practically every single game. I don't know. It's literally like watching Ronaldo play every game, but a kid that's bloody...
He's 20 years old.
Oh, he's a monster.
I don't know how tall he is. I'd like to see, but in terms of a soccer player, he's got amazing height.
He's built like a brick shithouse.
But his speed,
Oh my god, he's a freak.
once he gets going, he has got some great speed, and he gets moving, and he's got long strides. He's lightning quick, and for his size, he gets going, and you don't expect him to be that fast. But I tell you what,
I'm going to put
he's a special player. He's a special player.
Put this out here, and I know it's early days. He's been playing for 1 year. I'm going to put this right out there. This guy, potentially, if he lives up to all his potential, could go down. I'm not going to say greatest of all time. I'm going to say as the most complete player to ever play the game. Big, strong, built, fast, amazing ball control. His touch is unreal. His finishing is on another level. His
finish today
finishing is just a joke.
There was a finish today, Domma. He got the ball, took the touch. This is all in the space of, while the defender's literally trying to chase him down, he's right on the hammer. He's taken the touch, looked up at the goalkeeper, looked back down at the ball, and struck it up in the near post, off the post. He's had that much time, that much composure to do all that, while you got the guy, the defender literally about to, come from behind.
Oh, he's just a freak, mate. And his playmaking is just as good. And you know what's funny? They say it's the team that he's surrounded by. Like, he's a guy that I reckon he'll dominate anywhere that he gets good service. So if a team like Real Madrid wants to pick him up, guess what? He's going to get great service.
Look, let's be honest. Lewandowski is slowly on the way out, and Haaland will be in that Bayern Munich side very soon. Very soon, and probably in the next 2-3 years. In my opinion,
100%.
Because I believe they still owe the money after they bailed them out still, so they're still paying off contracts, and that's their way of they sort of pay back the
exactly.
They allow their players to develop there, and then they're able to buy them. They sort of get first preference on the market.
Yeah, they do.
Like that.
Now, I brought up Haaland in that game at the end because a record held by Manchester United legend and Netherlands legend Ruud van Nistelrooy and Soldado, who played for Valencia back in the day, had a record of 15 goals in 19 matches. That is Champions League games. That was broken this morning by Haaland. He has 15 goals in 12 games.
Wow.
So, he's done it 7 games short of what the record was, which is absolutely unreal. He's a freak. We've got some games coming up tomorrow. Mönchengladbach versus Shakhtar Donetsk. Olympiacos versus Man City, Bayern Munich versus Salzburg, Atletico Madrid versus Lokomotiv Moskva, Internazionale versus Real Madrid. This will be a great game. Marseille versus Porto, Ajax versus Midtjylland, Liverpool versus Atalanta to finish it off. We can watch Diogo Jota dominate again tomorrow, which will be great. I look forward to watching him kill it again. He's a freak. So they're the games. That's Champions League. That's EPL. Let's get to F1.
Up next, Domma.
F1.
What do we got?
Let's get to F1s.
Three, two.
All right, we're back. F1 race this week. Bahrain Grand Prix on Sunday. If you're in the continent of Australia, it is a 1:10 a.m. start Monday morning, which is fantastic. Don't know how I'm going to get up for work the next day, but I'll manage somehow. But but it is going to be at Bahrain. A bit of news quickly before we do move on to the UFC. There's some news regarding next year. Obviously, we're in the delay, the 2022, the equalisation, but construction of the tyres is going to change for next year, so this could be more wear and tear, potentially, could influence the pack a bit, and also a few aero tweaks on the chassis. They got to keep the chassis as it is, but a few aero tweaks can be made, and as we've seen on cars, one minor difference could be the be-all and end-all of their competitiveness. So Mercedes have got the technology potentially to tweak it, to obviously try and get even faster, but it could be a tweak that could hinder them, and if it hinders them, it could destroy everything they've worked hard for. But let's be realistic, that is not going to bloody happen, and they will win it again next year, and so will Lewis Hamilton. So Bahrain this Sunday, G up for it. Lewis Hamilton probably won't race because he's going to put up his legs. and relax. But coming up next, UFC, and we're gonna your boy G Ups.
My boy, he's fighting this week.
Let's go. All right, we're back. Saucy, lay it on them. You said at the top of the show. If you don't know who our boy is, you're going to tell them who our boy is.
Well, Domma.
We've been waiting for a while for this to happen again.
We have. You know how much I love the man. He's my favourite fighter in the UFC to watch. And I'm excited this weekend. But before I G up this weekend, we're going to go over the previous week.
No worries.
Past week's results.
No worries.
We're going to go over the main card as I usually do. The light heavyweight division. You had Paul Craig with the KO over Mauricio Rua in the light heavyweight division. Women flyweight division. You had Caitlin Chuk again defeated Cynthia Calvillo with a decision after 3 rounds. In the welterweight division, you had Tim Means defeated Mike Perry. That was actually a really good win by Tim Means, veteran guy. Probably expected Mike Perry to win that one, so it's a good decision win on his front. And the women flyweight, Vatalina Shevchenko did call this last week. It went the distance, Dom.
It did
was
call
a
it.
really good fight. These girls both went really hard. And, well, let me just tell you, I wouldn't want to be taking a punch from Vatalina Shevchenko.
Yeah, probably not.
I'll tell you that right now. Got the decision, 5 rounds. And then in the flyweight division, Devionson Figueroa defeated Alex Perez in the first round with 1 minute and 57 left on the clock in the first round. So within the first 3 minutes, and he was with the submission with a guillotine, Domma.
Really?
Great execution. It sort of came from nowhere. Alex Perez had Figueroa in a bit of a sort of had his leg. You thought that he was going to be able to sweep him as he had his leg and take him down and get on top, get that top mount and try, assume the position and take out that first round as it was nearing down to the last sort of 2 minutes. But Figueroa, the jiu-jitsu skills to roll out of some of these positions and then turn it into an attack where he found himself, and multiple times you thought, oh, he's in danger here, he's in danger. And then all of a sudden, he had him in a guillotine. And Perez tried to actually stand up while he had him in the guillotine. And you could see the back of his neck. You could see the bones popping out of the body. Like, literally, it looked crazy. Like, definitely had to tap or else, it could have ended really bad, broken neck or something along those lines. But it got the tap, and it was one of the greatest submissions I've ever witnessed or seen in the MMA because, and UFC was just the way he was. He looked like he was in danger, and then all of a sudden he won the fight. So it was such a turnaround in the space of sort of like 20 seconds, Domma. In 20 seconds before he got the 20 seconds, 30 seconds before he got it, you thought he was going to lose that round or at least get some ground and pound on him. And then all of a sudden he was on. He had him in the guillotine, and game over.
Very nice.
So yeah, it was a good fight. It was a real good fight. All right, now's the time, Domma. This week
Let's go.
My boy. Now it's not advertised as one of the big fight nights on from the UFC, but
It's still on double coverage.
It is on double coverage because there's none other than my boy Derek Lewis. Mr. Hot Balls himself takes off his trunks after the fight because his balls are hot against Curtis Blades in the heavyweight division. You gotta go watch the interview. I'll find it. I'll drop it in there. You gotta go watch the interview. Joe Rogan when he interviews him after some fight. And he goes, "Why have you taken your pants off?" And he goes, "My balls are hot." Oh, he's so funny.
What the fuck are we doing?
Oh.
I'll get the video. I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna. He's fighting this weekend, heavyweight division. Domma. Now I'm gonna try to find it here. Where is it?
Oh,
Where is it
wow.
here?
Oh, no.
Big boy Derek Lewis. He's up against. Let's get this one back here. He's up against. Oh, here we go. We've skipped past it. Curtis Blades, and I'm just trying to have a look here, see if he's in the. Oh, we go. Wow, that's amazing. Derek Lewis is ranked 4th in the heavyweight division. Curtis Blades is ranked 2nd, Domma. So this is a massive fight for my boy Derek Lewis. In the rankings, Curtis Blades is ranked 2nd behind Francis Ngannou, and obviously Stipe is the champion. And then you've got Derek Lewis is ranked 4th, who's behind Jurinzo Rokunzuruku. Who we know his last fight, how that ended, was really impressive. So, massive fight. My boy Derek Lewis, if he wins this fight, is probably one fight away from potentially a title shot. Getting another title shot. He obviously got beaten in his last one against John Bon Jones. There's been not too many guys who've been able to defeat John Jones. Sorry, not John Jones. I think he got done against Cormier when Cormier was the champion. My bad, not John Jones. But I think he might have been in the light heavyweight division at one point, Derek Lewis. Anyway, regardless, he's fighting Big Boy Lewis. So get excited, ladies and gents, because it's always entertaining when he's fighting. And in the light heavyweight division, the co-main card, we've got Anthony Smith against Devin Clark. This is a massive, massive, massive fight for Anthony Smith. I said last time he needs to step out and come and put some wins together if he really wants to make There was a point there where he actually had a title shot against John Jones. He lost. He went to 5 rounds. John Jones made his face look like pulp by the end of it, and it looked like John Jones did barely look like he'd even been in a fight. But if he wants to have another shot where now John Jones is out of this, why can't he has to now win this fight and go on a run? So then you got in the heavyweight division, Josh Parisian versus Parker Porter. The welterweight division, Mikael Baeza versus Takashi Sato. Mikael Baeza 9-0, so undefeated. Always interesting watch. Featherweight division, Spike Carlisle against Bill Alegio. So that rounds us out. Don't forget, this Sunday, ladies and gents, main card kicks off from 2 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Derek Lewis, the beast, big boy Derek Lewis against Curtis Blades.
Get around it.
2 versus 4th on the rankings. Massive fight.
Very nice.
And my favourite division, Domma, as I keep saying, my favourite division is the heavyweight, the big boys.
Yeah.
Because the hammers, once they get flying, Domma.
They're throwing hammers and hot balls and everything. So,
woo!
So, yeah, stay tuned and watch Big Boy fight this week. And we'll definitely be covering that next week on the pod. We'll be G'd up, especially if he wins. Because, as Sauce said, he's coming up to a potential another title shot. So that'll be very good for our boy.
For sure.
All right, coming up next, NFL. It's been a big week.
Three, two.
All right, we're back. NFL, Week 11. We're almost at the end of the season here. First game, Cardinals versus Seahawks. Seahawks are 10-1 on Thursday night since 2010. They beat them 28-21. Tell you what, with a running game, Russell Wilson didn't have to worry much this week about interceptions and pressure on him. And just, it was like clockwork. Kyler Murray, in saying that, has been very, very good. He was unlucky not to win this game. Then we have Titans versus Ravens. Titans beat the Ravens 30-24. That's 2 losses in a row for the Ravens. Derrick Henry, game-winning 29-yard rushing TD in overtime. Got the job done there. A bit of a struggle for Lamar and the Ravens.
He's struggling there, so they need to watch out. The Ravens, they aren't looking the best going forward. They seem like they may have regressed a little bit from last season.
Definitely. Next up, we had the Panthers shutting out the Lions and practically ending Matt Patricia's tenure as head coach of that football team. He hasn't been fired yet, but I can tell you right now, he's definitely gone after getting shut out there.
Donor.
He's gone.
Absolute donor.
They've allowed 0 points for the first time since week 14 in 2015. Ridiculous. Now we had, next up, the Browns versus the Eagles. First home win versus Philly since week 7 of 1988 for the Browns. It's been almost an Essendon finals drought streak. They've had almost 11,800 days without a home win against Philly. So that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So they got the win there. Then Texans beat the Patriots 27-20. First time below 500 through 10 games for New England since 2000. So 20 years since they haven't had a 500 record. Next up, we've got a bit. There's a bit in this next game, and it was a great game to watch. With a game-winning 39-yard field goal in OT from Blankenship, the Indianapolis Colts handed the Green Bay Packers another loss to the season. In what was a great game to watch. Fantastic game to watch.
I'll just say this. You got to play 4 quarters. Because in the first half, the Green Bay Packers looked far and above the better side.
100% they did.
We went in there, halftime, went into the sheds. The coach gave them a pep talk. They changed up a few things. And we keep saying the Colts defense is elite. Well, in that second half of that game, they showed how elite they actually are. Only allowing 3 points in that second half after allowing 28 in the first. And keeping our team in the game and giving Philip Rivers a chance to potentially come back and win it. And he did. And we're looking good, Domma. We're going to win that division. We're a lock, in my opinion, now.
Yeah,
for sure.
I think
we've got a few more games to come, but we keep playing that way. I think we're going to lock up that division. It's not locked in yet, but I think we play in that manner. That
you're looking good.
and that
like that.
passing rush of the passer.
We're
gonna go all right. We're gonna go all right. Look, I don't think we can win it because I still don't think we can get past Kansas City if we ever come up against them. But
I'll tell you what. When we get to that game, it's very interesting. Steelers 10-0 for the first time in franchise history. Played the Jags, smacked them 27-3. No surprise there. The Saints without Drew Brees. Tell you what.
No Drew Brees,
Taysom
no worries.
Hill
My
looked
Super Bowl pick.
Taysom Hill looked
My Super Bowl pick.
Michael Thomas, most receptions in the first 5 seasons in NFL history. After this game, they beat the Falcons 24-9. No surprise there. Washington football team beat the Bengals 20-9. Then we had the Cowboys against what was a perfect opportunity for our boy, you like that, Kirk Cousins, to gain on Green Bay Packers by a game. And they've cocked it up against the listless Cowboys, who have got that many guys out. And they haven't even got a proper quarterback. They've got Schultz throwing go-ahead reception TDs with a minute left to win games. It shouldn't be happening. As simple as that.
Domma,
especially with the Vikings defense.
I'm just going to say, we mentioned on the pod a few weeks ago about, albeit Kirk Cousins is one of you in a row, don't be fooled. I thought it was going to be last week against the Bears, but it was this week against even a worse team, in my opinion, with all their injuries and
the worst division in football. They stink.
And the worst division in football. They've lost to someone in the worst division in football.
They're struggling to beat each other in their own division.
Right. Domma, I called it, so I'm going to give myself a...
You like that?
You like that? Because I called that it was fool's gold. I'm giving myself another one.
You like that? You like that?
You know what else they deserve this week for that dreadful performance?
Lemon! How can you do it? How do you lose? How do you lose to the Cowboys? How? I don't understand.
I'll tell you what. Kirk Cousins, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Lemon have been so common throughout this podcast. It is ridiculous. Honestly, we look to not give it to him each week, but they find another reason to get it. They're just being terrible. Absolutely terrible. Next up, we had Chiefs versus Raiders, which could potentially be the first round matchup in the AFC playoffs. I tell you what, they've split the series 1-1, these two teams, a game each. Raiders probably should be 2-0. They match up very well against the Chiefs. They're playing great football. You said it earlier on, you didn't know what to make of them, so you give them time. But honestly, new stadium, better facilities. They're not playing on a freaking baseball pitch anymore. In a dilapidated stadium that's shared with an MLB team. They've got all their state-of-the-art facilities, and they're looking very good. Derek Carr's playing some of his best football since, like he did 3 seasons ago. They're looking great. John Gruden seems to have found their stride. Ruggs looks like a great pickup for him. Josh Jacobs is a beast. Whitten was a great pickup. They just give the Chiefs fits. I don't think Andy Reid and my homeboy want to play him in the playoffs. But I tell you one thing you don't want, and this is a fact, and you take this to the bank, you don't want the ball in my homeboy's hands when they're trailing with 2 minutes left on the clock. Because I tell you what the outcome's going to be, 9 times out of 10, he's going to win them the game.
Yeah.
If you're going to win the game, you make sure you win it, and it's less than 30 seconds left, and you have the ball and you can kneel and run down the clock. Because if that boy's got the ball in his hands, you're not winning. He's that good. He'll make anything happen. Honestly, he'll make anything happen.
He's unbelievable, Domma. He's unbelievable.
He's amazing to watch.
Anyone out there right now, I'll just give a quick tip as we are a sports card podcast as well. If you've got the money to go out there and get yourself a homeboys, a rookie card, Prism, or Optic, in my opinion, one of those two, go get it. Because from where he was at the start of the season, and then he peaked so high, now they've come back down so much, and the fact that he's potentially, going to be the Super Bowl favourite, and his card is now, the trajectory of his card is just absolutely plummeted. Now would be the ripe and time to pick one up, because if he does potentially go to win a Super Bowl, that will elevate his card a little bit more. Even if he just makes the Super Bowl, you could probably flip that card if you think he's going to at least make the Super Bowl for a profit. And if not, you hold it for longer. And if he does win a Super Bowl, well, you definitely won't be able to get it as cheap as you could get it now. If he doesn't win a Super Bowl, you probably could get it maybe a little bit cheaper in the off-season. So these are the things that you need to play off how you want to go about it. But he's not a bad buy at the moment.
I'll tell you what, he's just a guy. He just keeps anyone in the game.
He does. He's amazing.
They are reigning and defending champions. So anything can happen. Anything can happen. He hasn't had to do as much as he did last year either, because they've formulated a run game with Le'Veon Bell and Halle Smith, their rookie. So he hasn't had to do as much as he had to last year and the season before. So you just see when he actually has to step up in the big moment, his skills, if anything, have got better. His game sense is just out of this world. Enough about the homeboy. He is on path to become a force to be reckoned with in the NFL. Just something that will not be able to be stopped.
Monday Night Football, Domma.
Next up, we had Dolphins v Broncos. Broncos finished off Tua's hot streak, beat him 2013. Chargers beat the Jets. No surprises. They were very competitive, the Jets, but 34-28. They'll get Trevor Lawrence, and then they'll actually start playing football, and they will dominate. And the last game, Rams beat the Buccaneers. Oh, wow. Tom Brady, here's a nice stat for you people. 0-19. Throwing the ball 20-plus yards for a long-range TD. 0-19 on completions.
On the season.
It's great. Yeah. It's looking good.
Look, I will say that, the word has always been out there that that's never been Brady's strong suit, the long ball. But...
Well...
in this game,
make it strong suit.
In this game, the inability for his offensive line to give him a bit more time on the ball was an absolute killer, and you've seen in those dying moments where usually Tom Brady getting the ball back to 2 minutes on the clock, timeout in the pocket, he's most likely gonna go down there and get you the game-winning TD.
100%.
But the Rams' ability to put pressure on him, and we've seen it when Chicago was able to do that same thing, it worries him, and he's prone to mistakes. And the coach out there, is it Bruce Arians? Is the coach, I believe?
Yeah, Bruce Arians.
He's asking him to throw probably too many long balls, in my opinion. He probably should be doing a few more dump off passes, dump runs, and looking to move the chains a little bit easier like that in those early downs, and get some of those screen and motion offense going. Because I read a stat today that they're last in the league in running any sort of motion offense and getting guys moving before the snap. They're very much a line up and hut sort of team.
Yeah.
So. It doesn't help their cause. It's they need to throw something else out there and to try to help Brady because obviously their offensive line is not helping him. The pressure's getting through there. So by throwing in some motion offense, it keeps that offensive line honest. Potentially that defense honest. Sorry, and potentially can throw them off with their timing in the way they're able to jump the snap and get that that one up on the offensive line by throwing that motion in there. It throws another spanner into the works. Gives them something else to think about. So by not doing it often or just doing it literally 10% of your plays, that's probably not enough for them to go, well, they're most likely just not even going to run any motion here. And they just throw it out the window. So we'll just worry about getting to the quarterback. We don't worry about this wide receiver putting the ball on over here or the tight end coming off the edge of the pack and roaming around to the other side. They're doing none of that stuff, which is probably hurting them.
They're being very, very, very inconsistent, to say the least. What they do really well one week that helps them win the game is the thing that struggles them the following week. They just can't get any consistency. It's been
and just we'll bring it back, Domma. Both these teams, it was a throwing game. You got 48 attempts by Tom Brady and 51 attempts by Jared Goff. Tampa Bay 42 yards total rushing, only 88 attempts on the ground, and 20 attempts on the ground for Los Angeles in the rushing department, and 37 yards. Total. So combine those teams, they've had a total of less than freaking 480 yards on the ground. Wowee.
Terrible.
Wowee.
Not good. They'll have to focus on next week, where they're probably going to lose. So we'll go through week 12, and you'll see who they're playing this week. We've got Texans at Lions. Divisional poo matchup. Washington football team versus Cowboys. That is stinky. Another divisional rivalry here. Ravens at Pittsburgh. That's a massive game. Then another divisional matchup. We've got Dolphins at Jets. Dolphins should get back on the winners list, you would have thought. Then we've got Cardinals at Patriots. My tip there is definitely Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. Panthers at Vikings. Surely Kirk Cousins can steal this win. Browns at Jags. Titans at Colts. Giants at Bengals. Giants could move into a good position to try and take
massive game there for the Colts
division. Chargers at Bills, Raiders at Falcons, 49ers at Rams, Saints at Broncos, Chicago at the Packers. Tuesday, Seahawks at Eagles, and I skipped the most important game, the Buccaneers. It's going to be Chiefs at Buccaneers. Tell you what, Tommy boy, you better get your shit in order down there in Tampa Bay, because my homeboy, he's not going to make those mistakes. So you better be on point for that game. So yeah, that's what we got for week 12 in the NFL. How'd your tips go, by the way, big fella?
So I only gave out 2 tips, Domma. I gave out a 3% on my first tip of the week, where I actually got Kansas -6 on the line. The line actually extended to 8, came back by game time, settled at 7. They won by 4, 5.
Yeah.
So that didn't go well. And then let's just say my multi, which I will bring it up right now and just double check on it, which I'll see which stuffed me, and I believe it might have just been our boy Kirky Cousins that's on it. Oh no, I didn't do too good. What did I have? Here we go. I had the Chargers. Yep, Steelers won. Bengals plus 11.5, and Vikings. Okay, so I've only got 2 out of 4 on that because the Bengals actually ended up losing by 11. If Joey Burrow doesn't get injured, they probably win that.
They wouldn't have.
Vikings. That was the fact that they were paying $1.30 on the bookies, and they got done by Dallas, who were paying well over, I don't freaking know, $2.80 or something like that.
Crap.
$3. Yeah, probably should have looked for the value. You got sucked into that Kirk Cousins hype train, and I will give myself an absolute lemon for getting sucked into that hype train of Kirk Cousins. Not to say that I think Kirk Cousins is good, but I just thought they've shown enough in their last few games to beat Dallas, one of the worst teams in the whole of the NFL this season. So, out of the worst division in the whole of the NFL this season. So, yeah, fool's gold. Fool's gold! Don't
Definitely.
Get sucked in.
Well, stay tuned for Saucy's tips coming up on our socials, probably tomorrow or Friday. So stay tuned for that. All right, coming up next, you're back onto it again. It's not hobby talk, it's bot talk with Saucy.
3, 2.
All right, we're back. Hobby talk. Before we get into it, just want to shout out Moneyball Sports Card. We did a special pod with them on Monday, so if you haven't seen it, jump on our socials, check that out on our IGTV.
Yeah, Moneyball_ sports cards.
We'll probably drop an
on
audio.
IG.
Yeah, we'll probably drop an audio version of that as well at some stage. But jump on there. Good discussion with Nebs. They've got their product dropping, Series 2, dropping of their repacks this weekend. So stay tuned, jump on it, great value, and all the best to all the boys involved in that business. So let's get into it, Saucy. You spoke about the bots, you touched it, you explain what it is. So we don't need to explain it again. If you want to know what it is, just jump back on a previous podcast. It's all there in the description. We always say, we explain what we talk about, so it's back there. But Saucy, as we know, you're an avid member of many groups in the hobby.
Yep.
And you've got a sneaker flipping background as well, and you're in those groups. Now, ever in your wildest dreams did you think that shoe flipping and car flipping were going to intersect? Did you ever think that was going to happen?
No, I didn't think it was going to happen. And now...
now we're in trouble.
Now we're in trouble. People complained before about not being able to get stock from Zing and EB on pre-orders and whatnot. Well, good luck now.
Those are your...
It is pretty much going to be game over. They'll have running... I came across... I'd actually found this Instagram account previously. And they're based out of America, and I never followed them, but they happened to follow me. So I was like, I'm not one of those snub people that, I like to have a sort of even amount of followers. I don't really give a shit. Like, obviously, I don't want my followers to be freaking 5,000 and I've got 500. That's just, I don't know, it's just...
Spread the love.
You spread the love, right? So I'm happy to follow people back. People follow me, I follow them back. If I don't give a shit, I'm not that type of person. I mean, if you're a dickhead, I'll unfollow you. So I mean, you get a shot. You get a shot. That's what I'm saying.
100%.
He followed me. I followed him back, and I was like, I remember this guy. I came across his account before. This is where I sort of came up with the idea that the bots were coming. And I'm sort of waiting for them to. I was talking more about. It's already here. It's already happening in America. It's already happening on Walmart.com and Target.com and I don't know what any other major retailers that sell stuff online out there. They might even be running some bots on potentially some local card stores that might be releasing certain stock at a certain price point, like our mates do down at Cherry. They always give you a sort of like an early price point on their first sort of release of a product, but once you miss that, you're paying super high secondary prices, which is fine because that's just the way the market is. But they give you a chance to get some boxes at a reasonable price. price. It is a business, so they are going to, want to make their cut after that, which is all good. But it's where those big retailers like for us in Australia, Kmart, Target, and I don't know if Big W did it, but potentially some other retailers out there, such as Toy Mate. I think they may have had some cards. You got your Zing and EB as well. So I think Pop Culture, there's some other larger retailers out there that are doing it, but the main ones are obviously going to be Kmart, Target, Zing, and EB for us in Australia. I was thinking, this is only a matter of time that because from what I understood, and I sort of looked at his posts, and I figured that this guy that I found on Instagram who's doing it in America is actually previously was doing sneakers, and he had his money from sneakers, and he started doing this, and he realized he's like, oh, this is a better flip. You're actually making more money flipping these than flipping sneakers. Although you can make a bit of money flipping sneakers, he was like, oh, this is better. So he's transitioned what he's learned in the sneaker game over to this. Running, having crawlers, Google crawlers, crawling on a site and looking through the code and searching for keywords for when stock gets added to a site. That's all linked to a Discord server. The Discord server, you get a notification straight to your mobile phone, which everyone has, and straight through there, or people if you're on your computer all the time, a notification on your computer, and you literally go in there and bang, bang, within 2 clicks, you buy the product. If you've got an automatic bot, if you don't have an automatic bot, it's going to notify you straight away when the stock's available within the first 3 seconds it's on the site. Sometimes they might even notify you when stock's been loaded in the background and it's not actually visible to purchase, so it's going to be loaded. That's how advanced these sort of crawlers are. They can actually detect stock before it's actually shown to actually for people to add to their cart. It's like I don't know what it is, because like websites they load stock sort of in that manner, and then they will make it public, if you get what I'm saying. So they'll preload it, then make it public. But if they preload it, it's sort of still within the cloud or the website's code, so you can still pick up on it. So they do, and then they'll know that some product could be dropping at some point during the day. Just keep an eye out for the alert. Once the alert officially drops, they get another alert, and bang, like as I said, if you've got an automatic bot and if they start doing that, it's literally as soon as you press that alert on your Discord server, it takes over and does the rest. It will order as many as it can. They use paid services such as Revolt, ZipPay. There's a few other ones out there that have multi-card sort of one single-use Mastercards, digital Mastercards. So there's always a different card, so it's not like it's the same card, buying out the thing, and which is also a red flag. They're doing it with sneakers. If they're getting away with it with sneakers, they're going to get away with it with cards, let's be honest. And I was just saying, it's a matter of time till that comes to Australia, and I fear for the Australian market at this point, because I think it will be relatively soon, because I am in a sneaker group, and I have seen the card sort of situation pop up there. There was words going on about the Hoops Premium coming, NBA Hoops Premium released out on EB and Zing. So anyone that didn't get any stock probably missed out, because a bunch of sneaker flippers in this group pre-ordered a whole shit of that stock, and they're going to claim it, and they're going to resell it on the secondary market for double the price or triple the price, whatever the market is. They've got there's one guy in there who's been doing sneakers for a bit, and he now understands the basketball, and his advice was don't sell your stuff straight away, hold for it for a month, wait for everyone to rip their stuff that they've got, and then after your month, then most likely that price is going to settle, and it's just going to go up and up and up, which is what has happened with every fucking product. So he knows what he's talking about, and if they do that, then you're literally going to be paying whatever blaster box of NBA hoops for freaking, that's retails for 40, you're going to be paying $150. Same as a Chronicles box. What a Chronicles box is going for, one of the more lower blaster boxes. So it's coming. It's going to be inevitable, and regardless of what you say, they should get their orders cancelled, this and that, they've got that many workarounds. You're not going to stop it.
You're not
You
stopping
know,
them.
they can't stop it on sneakers. You got, you know, sneaker sites that are way bigger than some of these card sites, and you've got sites like Kmart and Target. They don't give a shit. They get the stock at this price, and as long as it sells, it sells. Like, they don't care. Yeah, like they don't care enough to do something about it. So I'm just pre-warning people out there in the Australian market that this could be the thing of the next 12 months and going forward. If you know this hobby keeps going in this trajectory, or it sustains a lot of the members that have you know picked this up in the last 8 to 10 months.
Not to break a lot of hearts, just remember that a lot of our outlets don't stock sports cards as prominently as what they do in like retail outlets and stuff in America. So I'm going to break your hearts right here live on Double Coverage. If you're into Pokemon, I'm breaking your heart right now. It's all over. We did say this to you about 4 weeks ago. We told you that you got to change your mindset on the hobby. We are coming from the sports background and we understand what's happening in the Pokemon side of things. It's over. I'm just putting it out there. It's done for you. You might think, we said it back then, I'm going to say it again, you might think you'd be able to walk in there and grab whatever you want off the shelf like you did 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, even a year ago. It's over. You're not going to be able to ever do that again.
Yeah.
Because they're targeting Pokemon cards as much as, well, even more than sports cards.
They are.
Do you know why? Because there's excess stock of Pokemon. It's more popular in this country in retail stores than what sports cards are. So I dare you right now, just go have a look at pre-orders on Target and Kmart and all that stuff for upcoming Vivid Voltage. And I'll tell you what, you're not going to be able to find anything. It's all sold out. And go into your store and ask for it. And I'll say it was gone on the first day. So
look, where I work, there's a Kmart, and I check it every single day. And today is the first day since Vivid Voltage was out that I found any stock. And I bought it. I bought a few packs, and I bought a theme. Happened to get a theme. There was one theme deck there, Domma, and it had the Charizard in it, so I picked it up. So I snagged myself a theme deck with the Zard in it. That's what you want. And I left the other shitty one near there with the water Pokemon.
And he's got that theme deck up. If ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening, for $1,000 on eBay, if you want it.
eBay 101, touched by Saucy the Goat from Double Coverage.
Yeah, that's what the description, that's what the title of the thing would be. But honestly, it's coming. It's coming big. It's coming with a strong presence because it's already established consumer base that are very, very, very proficient in using bots. Like, let's just put it this way. You haven't seen anything if you haven't dealt with a sneaker flipper. They are on a whole nother level. And if they start bringing that game into the card game, it is practically over.
Yeah, look, it's harsh, but I want people to be aware of what's happening. Yeah, like
you have to know what's going on.
You need to know that this is the case. So don't ever hesitate. If you want something and you see a good price, just buy it, pre-order it, whatever. Do what I do if you get the chance. You know, like I've done previously, I got lucky. I was able to secure 7 boxes of Optic Retail, sealed. I had a few sealed, and eBay, they freaking cut your thing, so it's not sealed. But the ones that I did have sealed, 3 of them, I sold them, and I opened the other 4. And now, essentially, I opened those packs for free. I made a little bit of profit on top because the boxes went up. I mean, if I held the boxes till now, the boxes would be worth $700. I freaking sold them at $360, thinking I got a good deal, making $200 a box because I was able to secure them at $160 a box. But I'll never find those prices ever again in my whole entire life. I'm telling you right now. As long as the card hobby keeps going the way it's going, there was still a point early in this year where you could actually walk into Zing and there was packs of Pokemon's cards sitting there for people to buy. There was a few packs of NBA hoops and NBA Donruss and some Optic packs. I even found some Optic retail packs for $6 a pop.
So you know what that is? You're going to walk in, no, 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 and no. That's what's going to happen.
Well, Domma, I'll just say this
Go
right
on.
now. In terms of Pokemon, no one really wanted Sword and Shield. Everywhere I went, every Kmart, when I looked over the last sort of, from 12 months ago when I started buying packs, or maybe like 14, 16 months ago, I started buying packs and just holding on to them. I would just buy the packs that I wanted. I didn't want the Sword and Shield because I knew no one wanted the set. That stuff would always sit. Every Kmart I have gone into now, all of Sword and Shield is sold out as well. So there's no Sword and Shield stuff as well. And apparently people don't like that set. But it's still selling. What does that tell you about something that's actually a good set, such as, Champion's Path or Vivid Voltage, which I think is quite a good set.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens there. Just watch this space, but it's just the pre-warning to the warning to it actually happening. So just be prepared. Because, you can't complain about it once it comes because it's going to come thick and fast, and you won't even be able to. If you blink, you'll miss it because your product will be gone. So, like Saucy said, you see it, buy it, and get your stock while it lasts, as they say.
Yes, 100%.
Next up, to finish the show, the most anticipated segment, Saucy Smokey. So stay tuned.
Three, two.
All right, we're back. The most anticipated segment of double coverage. Saucy Smokey, back once again with a familiar face. What do we got? What have we got? Just lay it on it.
I'll bring it back. This guy should be no surprise. There should be no surprise this year of the player that I've chosen. I'm going for a GOAT. In the scheme of things, not the GOAT, MJ,
a goated,
or LeBron,
goated.
but a goated in those talks. The player is Kobe Bean Bryant, of course. Rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. And the card, Domma, I'll grab the. I probably should have brought this up earlier, where I've absolutely cocked this one up again. But I've got it up. I've got it. Don't worry. I'm quick on the trigger here. So we'll bring it up here. It's the card I'm talking about. I'll switch it over here. The card I'm talking about here, Domma, is the 1997 Metal Universe Kobe Bryant base card. Now, the card itself, I just look at it and I look at the aesthetics of it. It's just beautiful. Skybox, we keep saying.
Well, we'll talk about it next week. We'll talk about Skybox on Hobby Talk.
That they made some of the best cards.
Oh, by far.
They made Metal Universe. I'm pretty sure it was a Skybox insert because I see it could be called Skybox. Well, we should double check that, but I'm sure it is.
I'll fact check.
Fact check that for me, Domma. Now, I'll have a look at this. I'll bring up the pop reports here. So the pop report on this card, ladies and gents, is only 490 graded. Out of that, that's 41 10s. The 10 itself, ladies and gents, where's the 10? Here. The last sold on the 10, $2,675. Right?
Huh?
That's because the last sold on the 10, $2,675. That's because this is such a hard card to grade. With the pop report of only 41 at PSA 10, that's 490. So, Domma, I like to run the numbers. We'll do 41 divided by 490. That is a gem rate of 8%. That's crazy.
It is Skybox, by the way. Yeah.
Skybox, I thought so. We love Skybox. They made some of the best cards, and
we
wish one day that they get back and they could potentially make some more, which I don't think they do because I think someone bought them out. So, sad days. But, Domma, where I say that the value could potentially be, we've got, we do 216, which is the PSA 9, plus 41, and divide that by 490. Now, that's a gem rate of 52%. That's pretty good. That's saying only 50% of time these cards get sent in, it's getting a PSA 9 and above. Now, there aren't too many graded. Not a rookie card. So, people wouldn't have handled these with care. It's an old card. Black edges, those dark edges, I always talk about it. We'll go back and have a look at the card. Those dark edges, I think there's some potential value in the PSA 9, which is trending around $200 US. Now, mind you, you can go get yourself a PSA 8. We'll go back to the here. Card Letter's actually got the PSA 8 trending on here. Was up around 120 back on the 29th of August. So that card has come down now down to $56. So you're getting a 50% discount. So if you really don't want to go out, I mean, go buy a PSA 8, SGC 8.5, something like that. I mean, at this point, I'm probably not advising you to buy an SGC 8.5. You're probably better off just buying the PSA 8 because everyone loves PSA. And then if you actually want to go flip this card, it will make your efforts easier because I've tried to selling a few SGC cards. I've had a few people, I don't buy SGC, I only buy PSA or BGS.
If it ain't PSA, don't bring it our way.
Right? If it ain't PSA, don't bring it on us, right? A la Perk. Or BGS, apparently. So, look, that's fine. I'm just saying the better advice is probably just to buy the PSA 8 because you're probably going to be able to flip that easier later on. If you don't want to spend too much money, you like Kobe, you want a cool Kobe card in your collection, look no further than this 1997 Skybox Metal Universe.
There's one.
I think the values. Yeah. I think the values with PSA 9. I haven't been able to secure one. I hope to potentially secure a PSA 9 because I actually like that gem rate. And we bring it back to Domma. Even though it's not a rookie card, it's an art card. It looks beautiful. It looks, it brings it back to the point where it's like, in another 15 years' time, Kobe Bryant, considered people would be like me, will be talking to my kids or your kids who like basketball, be like, man, you should have seen Kobe Bryant play. He was like, and you look Kobe Bryant highlights up, and you think about it, and then people will want those Kobe art pieces. You know what I mean? Look no further than this. It's probably one of the coolest Kobe cards I've seen. I just gravitated towards it. It looks like he's floating in space. He's passing that ball, and that face he's making. Like Kobe was renowned for making those faces when he's doing stuff. So like it's just all. If you want a box, sits with me well.
If you want a box, you can go on eBay right now and you can secure one for $3,500 Australian dollars.
That's how much a box of that product costs,
sealed,
right?
Sealed box.
Yeah, sealed. Because it's also got Tim Duncan's rookie year in it. That's probably also part of the fact too.
I think it's also Anthony Hardaway's rookie year as well.
Oh, there you go. So 1997, Skybox Metal Universe, Kobe Bryant. I think the value's with PSA 9 because obviously I can't afford a PSA 10 of 2006, but I'm probably past the point where I'm even buying raw ones. You pick up a raw one for $30, but dark edges, most likely if it was a good raw one, that person, especially if you go into their eBay account and see have they got graded cards for sale, and you go, yes, most likely, if it was good, they would have graded it themselves.
Correct.
And it's already a 20-plus year old card, so I wouldn't even take the chance. Just buy the damn graded card.
Bang. There it is.
Bang. Domma, there it is.
Saucy Smokey.
Saucy Smokey.
Very nice. What can I say? It's another pod down, mate. Good stuff.
Bang on the 2 hours. Back to the 2 hour mark, but it was a bit of a long one because we wanted to go through all those NBA trades. We wanted to inform people of those and know what... make sure you know what's going on in the NBA because this can really affect what you do in the trading card market going forward. Which guys you pick up, which guys could potentially get a bump. I mean, just on the weekend when I was raiding your cousin's folders, Domma, when I went and visited him after I was finally allowed to after this whole COVID shenanigans. I wanted to purchase Kelly Oubre rookie Prism. And I thought, it'll probably be about 15 to 20 US dollars. It was actually trading more around the 45 to 50 US dollars at the time when we looked up the price comps. That's obviously because he got traded to the Warriors, and that was my plan to hold it a little bit and then sell it during the season. But at that price, I was not buying Kelly Oubre. Let me just tell you that. So I passed that one up, and I said to your cousin, chuck that up on eBay and secure yourself potentially about $100 for it.
Exactly.
You might as well, because Kelly Oubre ain't going to be an elite star. At that price point, which is probably around about 75 Australian dollars, you can buy some a lot more other rookies, or buy some other guys that you could probably flip and make more money on that than purchasing Kelly Oubre.
That's it. All right, perfect. To stay up to date within the week, obviously follow us on our socials and you'll get some more updates. And a quick shout out that there may not be a hobby talk next week. We have secured a time on the weekend to bring a special pod to you all. Chris from the House of Jordans is gladly going to join us, which is fantastic.
And from our favourite platform, Card Ladder.
Exactly. So we've got some questions we're going to hit him up with. Bit of discussion about NBA cards, what to expect potentially,
and the lead up into the season. Bit of his opinion on some of the trades that have happened.
And also, we're going to ask him. We want to know what his opinion is on trends in the hobby at the moment. What's happening? And you know what? We'll ask him about the bots, and we'll get a response out of him and see what he thinks, which is great because as we know, he's very knowledgeable and very well respected in the hobby. So stay tuned for that one.
It's going to be a cracker, Domma.
Keep living, loving, and breathing sport.